Hello everyone, it's NotaNoobPat, and welcome to Perk Review. Today we're taking a look at the level 35 Hillbilly Perk, Lightborn. I previously made a video on this perk, but it got buffed, so let's take a look at it. Lightborn causes immunity from blindness, either from firecrackers or more commonly, flashlights. The survivor who attempts to blind you will also have their aura revealed to you for 10 seconds. The pro is fairly obvious. This is a counter to survivors with flashlights. Flashlights are one of the strongest, if not the strongest item in the game, so nullifying them can be extremely helpful. The cons are that high-level killers don't need Lightborn to avoid being blinded by a flashlight. I showcased this in the last few video examples. Also, alternatives exist to this perk. This perk is a one-trick pony. It requires flashlights to be useful. I also think that I should make the distinction that I said flashlights as in multiple. Bringing this into a lobby for just one flashlight would probably be a bit of overkill. Let's get into our video demonstration. You can see the survivor with a flashlight is using all of their charges to try to blind me. There is a little hint of flashlight beams, but overall, there is obviously no effects from the flashlight due to Lightborn. In a game-like situation, the survivor pallet stuns me, goes for a flashlight blind, and then I will be able to see their aura due to this perk. On the survivor side, I am blinding the killer like normal with my flashlight. However, I never get the killer blind notification, and you will notice Lightborn is actually indicated to the survivor. In the bottom right corner, just left of the perk window, survivors will get a Lightborn perk icon to let them know that they can't blind the killer. Let's get into our video examples. Before we really get into things, remember that you should only be using this perk when you get into lobbies with a flashlight. Keeping this perk on every game wouldn't make sense, as you may not end up finding a flashlight in each lobby. Once you load into a lobby and see a flashlight, put Lightborn in your perk rotation. In this first example, the survivor has been absolutely running me around. They used their adrenaline to rush forward to try to flashlight blind me, but surprise, I have this perk and put them on their death hook due to Lightborn. Now this is opinion based, but I believe the best players in the game are most likely to bring a flashlight into a match if they bring an item. You can see that this is definitely the case in this example, where you can see that this survivor is burning me. I am running laps around the map, and the survivor takes me on a chase so long that the other survivors complete the first 2 generators of the match. However, he takes me to the shack with the flashlight, and I know what's coming. The survivor throws down the pallet and tries to flashlight blind me to extend the chase. He's going to be out of luck due to Lightborn. I walk him down and put him into the dying state. This chase could have lasted even longer if I didn't have this perk to act as a combo breaker of sorts. Now, I'm going to have an example where I use Lightborn back to back. The survivor throws down the pallet to set up the flashlight blind, but obviously since I have this perk, that's not going to happen. Then, this Laurie runs over to the area where I am trying to hook this survivor and would have gotten a flashlight blind, but again, I'm using this perk, and she's just burning charges at this point. I end up using the aura reading ability from this perk. I can see what the survivor is doing. Initially, they jump the vault here, but then they end up circling back and dancing around this area right here. However, I go Super Saiyan with Oni, and I'm able to insta-down them and get another hook. Again, both aspects of Lightborn came up big in that example. In this next example, I am going up against 2 survivors with good flashlights with batteries and low amps, so they have a ton of charges. Initially, I get a hit in while carrying this survivor, and I know I won't have to worry about the flashlight blind, and then I cause them to use their dead hard. Again, I down the survivor, and you can see just a little flicker of the Nia again coming in for a flashlight save, but of course, I'm not worried about it due to Lightborn. Finally, it's the Fang's turn to try to flashlight save this Nia. Again, you can see just a little flicker, and I'm going to easily hook this Nia since the flashlight is nullified yet again. The Nia appears to finally have figured out I'm using Lightborn, but they aren't completely sure yet though, as they then try to flashlight at the pallet one more time. At this point, the Fang should really take a clue, as I'm going to walk her down on my way to the hook, and I'm going to end up putting her into the dying state while she tries to flashlight save. While that may have been a really good example, let's go through the less flattering video examples of Lightborn. First, let's note that Laurie brings a flashlight into the game. Second, I break my own rule of bringing this perk just for one flashlight. In this case, I would have brought this perk for 1 yellow flashlight without add-ons, but this goes from bad to worse because as you can see later, this is Laurie and she doesn't have a flashlight. Apparently this Laurie got lucky in a chest and she got a key now. So obviously she abandoned the flashlight and now I'm using this perk for no reason. If I would have brought an alternative like Franklin's Demise instead to counter the flashlight, I could have also used that perk to get rid of the key. Instead, Lightborn does nothing the entire game. In this next example, you can see that I am up against a Dwight with the flashlight, and you'd never believe my luck here. Note that this Claudette also has a toolbox, and this Jeff also has a medkit. I don't know if Dwight's mom told him that dinner was ready, or his power went out, but he pallet stuns me and doesn't even go for a flashlight blind. After I break the pallet, I continue to go for him, and I get the easiest down in the world as he hides behind a tree, and what happens? Well, he disconnects less than 30 seconds into the game, so now I'm using Lightborn for absolutely no reason. If I was using Franklin's, at least I could try to get rid of the Jeff and Claudette's items, but now I'm just out of luck, and Lightborn is a dead perk slot. Again, there are other methods of just avoiding flashlights altogether. In this first example, you can avoid looking into the flashlight directly by looking upwards or walking backwards towards a hook. Or, sometimes you just need to exercise a bit of caution and take a look around before you pick up. This survivor has been going for flashlight saves all game, so I know what to do. I walk around the shack and spot the survivor going for a flashlight save. They end up burning their dead hard, and then I just walk back to the survivor to pick them up. I make sure to be looking at a wall so the survivor with the flashlight can't make an angle and get a flashlight save. Anyways, I built this perk up, then tore it down, so let's give it a grade. Lightborn is a 2.5 out of 10. Listen, this perk's ability exceeded my expectations for its intended use. It is impossible to be blinded when you're using Lightborn. Even if the survivor still tries, you get their aura as a reward. It's a good perk if you're a new player fearful of flashlights or you load into a lobby of 4 flashlights and want to troll the survivors. That being said, this is only a counter to flashlights and not any other item. Looking at alternatives like Franklin's Demise may be a better idea unless you get a lobby of 3 to 4 flashlights. To finish it all up, I hope I showed you in the final few examples that there are ways to avoid the most annoying parts of flashlights without bringing this perk. That being said, this perk could still save you at pallets when survivors are trying to blind you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like. If you want to check out more perk review, make sure to look for the links in the description and visit my channel to subscribe. I also stream twice a week on Twitch if you want to stop by. Take it easy.